and welcome to another session of Groundbreakers Live. I'm your host, Javed Mohammed, and we're very honored to have with us today Roel Hartman, who is an Oracle ACE Director, as well as a Groundbreaker Ambassador. Roel, welcome.
Thanks, Javed. Thanks for having me.
All right. So we'll get right into the heart of things. First of all, we're talking about Apex. How did you become involved with Apex?
That's a long time ago. I don't know what year it was. It was not Apex at that time. It was still HTMLDB. And I was working at a customer's, and we still were generating Oracle forms using Oracle Designer. So that's a long time ago. And we had to build something very lightweight for 1,000 stores around the country. And it's probably like 15 years ago. Internet was not that big as it is right now. Of course, there was internet, but the bandwidth was smaller, and the PCs were smaller, so it has to run in the browser. Oracle Forms was not suited, so we looked in to build our own code with HTTP.P, all those manual PL/SQL calls to generate HTML. And then I stumbled upon HTMLDB and said, oh, let's try that. And I installed it, and within just a few clicks, I had something. So I was amazed by that. So it just took me like 5 minutes to, for instance, to show the number of employees in a store.
Nice.
In a browser. And wow, and that was the start of a journey that didn't finish yet.
Great. So along this journey, so what's kept you hooked to Apex? What's special about it?
I think it's the simplicity. So you can focus on the business problems, to solve the business problems, and leave all the regular stuff. It's already there. So it always looks good. So you don't have to worry about that. Security is already implemented. You don't have to worry about that. All kinds of things about authentication, session state protection, all that stuff's already taken care of.
Okay.
So you can just focus on the things that really matter.
All right. So you probably built many applications in that time.
Yeah.
Is there something that you feel you're very proud about doing? Something like that?
I think the most special one was not a very standard use of Apex. We built an application on a handheld scanner. So it's also a scanner that's used in stores, and you can just scan a barcode, and then you can just order additional items, or it shows you the number that they had in stores where you can count and those kind of things. And it has to, because it's like 3" by 3" little screen, and you can only have numeric inputs. So it was very hard to create something like that. So we didn't use any templates. We built everything ourselves. We used Apex as a framework, but all the coding we did was just AJAX requests sending over the line and back. So to keep everything as small as possible to let it even perform on a handheld scanner. I think that was the most amazing thing I did with Apex. Even on a device like that, it still works.
Great. And you feel so proud about that just because it was deployed so widely within the Netherlands, or? It
has been used in hundreds of stores, and every store had a couple of handheld scanners. So yeah, there are lots of them around. But especially because the device is not a computer. It's not like you got so many megabytes of RAM. It's like creating an Apex application on a 3 by 3" screen that runs IE6.
Yeah.
So all the limitations that come with it.
When you're speaking about it, it almost kind of reminds me about the space shuttle or any of those things that, they had like computers with very limited memory and everything, and they had to make them do some extraordinary things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was fun.
Okay, great. So I'm sure you picked up a lot of best practices along the way. Is there some you'd like to share?
Yeah, of course. I did last year. I did a presentation called Apex Bad Practices,
Mm-hmm.
So
Apex bad practices?
bad practices, yeah,
Okay.
with all kinds of examples that I encountered last years, and also fed in by other people. So I just asked on Twitter, can you have any examples about bad practices? And people just send me all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But turning it around, best practices. I think the best idea is to keep Apex as skinny as possible.
Mm.
Everything should be in a database. Everything PL/SQL should be in a database. So in Apex itself should only be one call to a procedure or function.
Mm-hmm.
And so no long blocks of code in there. And the same applies to JavaScript. If you want to code some JavaScript, keep it as skinny as possible. It's just one function call, and the rest should be either in a file somewhere or in a plugin, but outside the real core of Apex. So Apex is just a front end, skinny, lightweight, and then it's the easiest to maintain. If all the code's in your database, then it's easier to reshare and reuse that code, of course. And you can also see the dependencies, because everything you put into Apex is just an anonymous text block. It is not compiled. It will be compiled at runtime. So if there's an error in there, you won't notice, but the user will. And that's pretty late.
Okay. And you talked about bad practices. So what are things to avoid?
One thing to avoid the most is using all kind of undocumented features.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, in the new thing, the interactive grid, which is one of the newer things, a lot of people, not a lot, some people went completely wild with that and explored everything that's in the JavaScript files and noticed, hey, I can do more than is documented, because it was not that much documented.
Mm-hmm.
And they created all kind of cool stuff. But the downside is in a next upgrade, these things might fail, will fail. So that's don't do that. Don't try that. You can try that, for instance, to learn, but don't ever do that in a production environment.
Okay. So I've got a non-Apex related question. I'm just looking at your room and it looks very artistic. So first of all, are you like in a loft, and then you've got
this is the attic, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
and what's behind
room.
you? Something, a lot of things hanging in the background behind you. What is that?
Medals.
Medals. So
medals.
What are the medals for?
For running.
Ah, so okay.
So the couple of them, the larger one on this side are all for marathons.
Okay.
So there are seven. I did 7 marathons.
Wow.
And the ones on the other ones are for shorter distances, like half marathons and those kind of things.
Wow. So what's the secret of running a marathon? I've never
don't stop.
Pardon me, don't stop. Okay.
So keep going. I'm not fast. I don't run a marathon very fast, but yeah. But the whole goal is to finish it.
Okay.
So I did 2 of these 7 ones. 2 of them are in the US. I did New York and Chicago. And the rest is in the Netherlands.
All right. Okay. Well, Roel, thank you so much for sharing, not only about the marathons, but about Apex and all the interesting stories kind of behind that. Thank you for sharing. That's it. And all the best.
You're welcome, Javed.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.